What's up, YouTubers? I've been reading the media and stuff, what little I do on the internet, and hearing stuff through the grapevine about a fellow musician and somewhat of a friend of mine, Emory. Not that really close, but we've met a couple times. He made fun of me at an open mic night, and it wasn't a big deal. But I want to talk about this case that he's being charged with. First of all, the media is very misleading. TV 13, one of them, their headline is "Man Makes Lewd Video with Children." So that's kind of right off the bat, they're trying to hang this poor guy. The charges are outrageous, charging him with a 20-year felony. Obviously, he wouldn't get that even if he was convicted, because they'd go by the state's guidelines and stuff, because he's never been in trouble before. But the fact that they're putting that in the headline too is making this, such a big event. It's a media frenzy, if you will, circus. And it's all being led by Tony Tagg, our county prosecutor, which I think he's on drugs. And me being to jail before, I've been to jail. I've met lots of people that said they have sold drugs to Tony Tagg. So, I don't know. I guess I kind of heard it from the horse's mouth, not him. But just the fact that they're charging him with such a severe crime is ridiculous. And that they jumped on it before they even heard his side of the story. About going to his house, going through his stuff, looking for souvenirs. That's just really outrageous. And I think Tony is acting like this is the Wild West and he's a cowboy and trying to round up bad guys, which if he was a real cowboy and a good one at that, he would know the difference between someone making a prank video and a murderer or a real rapist. So Tony, if you are so sure that this is an open and closed case, I want you to bet your career as the prosecutor on this. So if this goes to trial and he's found guilty, I want, that's fine. But if not, I want you to quit as the prosecutor. That would just, I don't know, make a lot of people probably feel a lot better. Another thing, that he lost his job over this, that the media published, the place where he worked, and then his boss is getting calls and stuff, and then he got fired over it. That really sucks, because the whole, come on, we're innocent until proven guilty, that's not the case in the internet world, and especially through, this world of telephone game where stories get told and it just gets worse and worse. So, yeah, I say, because this is so ridiculous, I don't really think, the only thing that could be close to be called a crime is that he didn't get permission from the parents of the children to shoot video in the classroom. But the parents did sign a waiver at the beginning of the year through the school. The school gave permission, so the school being the guardians of the kids at that moment, because they're under the school's care, they gave permission. So the only unfortunate thing was that there was no release form signed by, the parents, for any purpose he has. So that's about the only thing that could go wrong. I mean, that's actually against him, is that he just didn't get any permission. But there was permission. So how does that really work out, So I say let it go to trial, because I personally don't believe he would get convicted by a jury of his peers that this is anything illegal. And especially when you take a look at MTV2 had a show called Wonder Chosen, which was a kids show, it looked like, and there's a lot of very adult humor on there. They sang a song about slaves and how the slaves built the pyramids, and stuff wouldn't get done around the country if it wasn't for slaves. Also, there's an episode called Aunt Flo about a little girl getting her period, and it starts off with this imaginary fairy godmother who takes her on this journey and shows her what's going on in her body by traveling through the blood stain in her bed sheets. And then after the dream's over, she's sitting on the bed and there's blood everywhere, and she's saying, "I'm a woman now." Like, that's kind of disgusting. But MTV got away with it. And then there's also comedians like Stephen Lynch, who Evan's material isn't copying his, but it's a similar acoustic guitar. I'm going to sing some songs that are funny. You know, people have done it over the years. So Stephen Lynch, you know, I'm not comparing Evan really, I guess, to that, but Stephen Lynch has some pretty offensive stuff. But so do a lot of comedians. And also, any of the gestures made in the video, because they wouldn't play the video on the news, and it's not on YouTube right now, which would be a pretty big hit in the YouTube world, they won't let you listen to the words. So they just showed some gestures on the news, which Steven Tyler and David Lee Roth do every day in music videos on VH1. And these kids' parents probably love David Lee Roth and Steven Tyler. And their kids probably have seen the videos of these guys licking microphone stands and thrusting their pelvis into a guitar or two. So, and don't forget the hot teacher crawling on the hood of the convertible. So, needless to say, that this stuff is all around. He was just the first one to throw them all together in one little happy music video. Nobody was harmed. The kids probably are so confused and don't even know what's going on. Like, you know, the parents come home angry after going to the courthouse with their pitchforks. And, "Daddy, why are you mad?" "Oh, because that guy that sang a song, you know, to you in the elementary school." "Well, I don't understand. What was the song about?" "You know, it was about a lunch lady." The kids don't understand movie magic. And the parents are, you know, probably not smart enough to teach them that there's a difference between real life and not real. A real danger and no danger at all. A real predator and no predator at all. So that's another issue that, you know, the parents are going to have to tell their kids why they think that this kid is a bad man. And I said kid just now because he's younger than me. He's 21. And they're calling him, you know, a man, which you are a man when you turn 21, but it sounds so scary. You know, a man makes lewd video with children. That's a harsh title. And that's not even the case. Man made mashup video with children as audience that weren't in any danger. That's not going to sell newspapers or make you watch news at 6. Not at all. So, in the end, I hope that, Evan, while you're in jail, that, you know, like one of your favorite musicians, Lil Wayne, you took some time to sit and write some new material for when you got out so that you can put together a whole bunch of new stuff because, you know, there's money to be made in this world, and especially if you got fired from your job, I hope that this thing makes it all the way across the internet, around the globe, and back, outer space, all that stuff. And I hope the video gets put back up so that people can see your comedic genius, and maybe might have to blur out some faces of some children whose identities were plastered over the internet. Now it's funny because I see children on the TV every day and I don't remember any of them because nothing identified them. There were no names, there were no social security numbers, no addresses. So basically, these parents are mad because their kid is lost in a sea of faces of children. You know, maybe they're upset because their kid didn't get credit for being in the video. He didn't have like whole credits list rolling or something. I don't know. But they're obviously upset. So, yeah, I hope that there's more material to come, and I hope it might make light of this judicial system and the people who actually commit crimes like this, who get let go on an early release because the jail's packed, because They're filling it full of young people who are making internet videos that are offensive and funny. Boo-hoo. I think some people get so offended because they see this stuff, like Tony Tag, and some of this stuff actually runs through their mind once in a while or something, you know? Why would they feel it? You know, it's obviously comedy, you know? He's not sitting there pointing out little kids and pulling them up on stage and dancing with them. No, it's because that thought, when those words were said, physically, like in their mind, ran through their mind, and they saw a scenario with a small child. Like, I think that's more sick than a song, you know, being mashed up with some video. I don't know. There's more to the human mind than we know, and I don't know enough. I'm not a brain doctor or a psychiatrist. I just know stuff pisses me off, and this case is one of them. Evan Emory, I know you're not a bad guy. You're one of the, I'm not going to say nicest guys I met, but, you know, you're very polite with your comedy. You don't mean to offend anybody, so, like, when you get done with your stuff, if someone looked a little upset at something that you sang about them, you'll go and talk to them. That's how he rolls, I guess. But, so, yeah, I hope he becomes super famous, which, I mean, he already is, but for the wrong thing right now. And this all blows over, and the school begs him to come back to perform, you know, after he's rich and moved on to greener pastures. But until then, I just think people need to take a chill pill, lay off all the Xanax and all the pet pills that these parents are taking and other stuff. I don't know if Xanax is a pet pill. I don't do a whole lot of drugs, so I don't know. So, yeah, parents, you know, put down the whiskey bottle. And, yeah, I know work's stressful, and you come home and you find your kids on the internet, and there's a funny song being sang, and they're in it, that, you know, just relax, because, you know, your kids are going to make mistakes someday. They're going to come home pregnant. They're going to have a black boyfriend, or they're going to date a Chinese girl, you know, or they themselves will make a funny internet video. And who knows, maybe